WTLV TV 12, Jacksonville.
Making good things happen for the First Coast, this is tonight's News on 12 with Marcia Ladendorf, Lee Webb, meteorologist Tim Deegan, and Harmon Wages with sports.
I just buy 2 or 3 tickets every time I play. And then when the number of games come out, I play every day because I have lucky numbers.
This Jacksonville woman plans to be the first in line tonight to buy Florida lottery tickets. Good evening. It all gets underway in 1 hour. The anticipation, of course, began more than a year ago when voters gave the lottery a thumbs up. Now, after a $15 million promotional campaign, the game's finally here, and it appears folks will be lining up to play. Roger Weeder reports.
You can play the lottery almost anywhere. In North Florida alone, nearly 1,000 different locations. At this Arlington convenience store, for example, the lottery may change the hours of business.
So what you're saying, if the lottery business is good, you're going to be staying open longer?
Yeah, we might be staying open until at least 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. We might even extend it to open 24 hours a day.
The excitement is about instant ticket lottery. Instant cash prizes ranging from $2 to $50.
And once they get the ticket, they can take a coin and actually scrape off all the laminated paint that's in this particular area. And again, this is the do not remove area down here, which would void this ticket out if it's removed.
The tickets can also produce $5,000 winners.
Miss Manning, what generates probably the most excitement here is the millionaire game.
Oh, absolutely.
How does that game work, or how is that game played?
Well, to be an instant millionaire winner, you have to get a ticket that says entry, entry, entry on it, which will enable you to be put into the preliminary drawing jackpot.
Next month, the drawing will produce 2 millionaires. Not everyone, though, is prepared to spend a lot of money to possibly cash in big.
How often do you think you'll play?
Probably about once a week.
And you'll spend how much?
Not too much.
Not more than $5, $10, maybe a month. If that, just whenever I got a little extra money, I might just buy one.
It's that extra money the state believes will turn the lottery into a $1 billion a year enterprise. Roger Weeder, tonight's News on 12.
Now, what are the odds you will win anything? Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Your chances are 1 in 10 you'll take home $2, 1 in 50 for $5, 1 in 60 for $25, 1 in 1,200 you'll win $50, and as you can see, pretty slim for the $5,000 prize, 1 in 80,000. In other words, you've got to be pretty lucky on the majority of these prize amounts. Now, one legislator who's keeping a sharp eye on the lottery as it gets underway is Representative Mike Langton of Jacksonville, who joins us now from his office on the west side. Representative, thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Right, good evening.
First of all, I understand you have some reservations as the lottery gets underway, and you're considering some reform legislation. Tell us about that.
Yes, I am. Next week I'll be introducing the Lottery Reform Act of 1988, and it basically addresses some issues like compulsive gamblers. We're going to create a lot of new people that are going to get hooked on gambling. And I think we need to do something about that. I think we need to research it and provide counseling and rehabilitation to those people. I think we need to be truthful in the odds that we tell the people. As you just stated, they're pretty bad in terms of winning big bucks. We need to do that on the tickets, and we think we need to do that in all the advertising that they have. I think we need to establish what's called a gambler's hotline, so people that do get hooked on gambling and have problems with the lottery can call in and get information and referral on where they can get help. And I think we need to roll back some of the astronomical salaries that the administration has decided to pay people. They're paying far too great salaries for public employees. It just isn't warranted, in my opinion.
Namely, Rebecca Paul, who's the director, and she's making over $100,000 at this
Well
point.
over 112. She was making 60 in her last job, and she's had 2 years lottery experience. That's a heck of a salary for a public employee. It's more than the governor. It's more than the cabinet. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Representative, let's go back to what you said earlier about the folks who are obviously going to get hurt by this, the compulsive gamblers, if you will. Does it make you wonder why the state even approved the lottery to begin with?
Well, I think that they were hooked on the idea that it would raise revenue, and we are in very tough times in terms of raising and generate revenue to meet our demands and needs. And so it was a quick fix to raise some revenue, and it will generate probably $300 to $350 million in a full year, budget year. And that's a lot of bucks. But you know, it doesn't raise it very effectively. You have people spending $1 billion, and you really only get 30 to 35 cents on a dollar. Very poor as a taxation form.
Representative, before we leave you tonight, tell us when you plan to put this through the legislature.
Well, it'll go in the next session, which begins in April. And I've already talked to the chairman, and he's committed to me to hear the bill, which is a giant step for the first step. So we'll see.
Mr. Langton, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you,
Representative Mike Langton of Jacksonville. Now, the Jacksonville Landing is one of several sites around the state where big parties are planned to kick off the lottery. Here's the schedule of events, including a parade at the landing. Free popcorn and Cokes will be offered, helium balloons, parachutists, live entertainment, and prize drawings to close out the celebration. That begins at 1 o'clock. And now from the lottery to another money issue tonight, taxes. Tomorrow we may have an answer on the proposed sales tax to replace tolls vote. Mayor Tommy Azuri is proposing a half-cent tax to do away with the tolls. He wants to find out what the public thinks through a vote. The City Council is expected to approve that vote tomorrow night. If it does, the tax for tolls referendum will be on the March primary ballot. The Carlos Slater drug trial is now in its 7th week in Jacksonville federal court. Today, Judge Howell Melton refused to allow an audio tape to be admitted as evidence. The tape was made by another accused drug smuggler of telephone calls made to him by 2 men trying to collect money for Jack Reed. Now, Reed's accused along with Later of smuggling more than 3 tons of cocaine into North Florida. Judge Melton says there was insufficient evidence to allow the tapes to be used. 1987 was a good year for the Coast Guard in terms of cocaine seizures. In fact, the Coast Guard intercepted more than twice the amount it did in 1986. Here are the numbers we're talking about. 25,000 pounds in 1987 compared to the 10,000 pounds confiscated the previous year. You'll notice marijuana seizures were actually down in terms of pounds in 1987. Coast Guard officials say smugglers are now turning to cocaine because it is more profitable. A Coast Guard incident involving this woman and her baby has led to a dilemma. The woman was among dozens of Haitians caught on their way to the U.S. this weekend and put on board a Coast Guard vessel for the trip back to Haiti. That's when the woman gave birth to a little girl, technically a U.S. citizen since she was born on the Coast Guard ship. That may mean mother and baby can stay here. It's now up to an immigration judge to decide. A busy day out at Mayport today as no fewer than 10 ships sailed out of port. The most notable departure was the fast frigate Jack Williams, shown here, heading out for a 6-month deployment in the Persian Gulf, escorting Kuwaiti oil tankers. Both aircraft carriers steamed out today. The Saratoga is heading north to Norfolk for a major overhaul, and the Forrestal and 7 other ships left port for training exercises in the Atlantic.
The doubt that something's going to happen.
Now, the exercises are among the largest ever for the Second Fleet. Several NATO countries are also involved. Still ahead tonight, the Vice President speaks under oath about the Iran-Contra matter, and Israeli soldiers turn their weapons on television crews.
From old Jack Frost, he's going to lay it on us heavy tonight.
In sports, Dick Vitale of ESPN and Bobby Knight, they go at it.
You're watching the News on 12 with Marcia Ladendorf and Lee Webb.
In national news tonight, the Iran-Contra investigation reached the Vice President today. George Bush spent the day in his office taking questions from assistants to independent counsel Lawrence Walsh. A spokesman for Bush says he was under oath and answered all of the questions posed to him. It was emphasized that Bush is a witness and not under investigation. Violence continues in Israel's occupied territories. 2 more Palestinians were killed today, bringing the death toll now to 31 in just 1 month. The Israelis have beefed up patrols, even calling in reservists to stop Palestinian rioting. Here you see 2 of them firing at an ABC cameraman today after warning him to get out of the area. Luckily, the cameraman was not hurt. Here in Jacksonville, police have identified the man shot to death in the Woodland Acres area last night. The victim is 22-year-old William Jr. Henry. He was found by police at the corner of Berry Drive and Ballin Street. Neighbors had called police to say they had heard a gunshot in the area, although no one saw what happened. They have no suspects in this, the city's 7th murder this year. Firefighters blame arson for this early morning fire, a blaze that caused some $50,000 in damage to the Jacksonville Jewish Center. The 2-story wooden house was a total loss, although it was empty for the most part. The building had been used for storing religious materials for the Jacksonville Jewish Center. Time now for weather, and I guess a lot of people were kind of hoping for a little snow this weekend, but we didn't get it, did we?
Didn't get it. The atmosphere just wasn't cold enough, although we officially had some sleet reported over the area during the weekend. Once it hit the ground, it was too warm to cause any kind of problems, but officially we did get some sleet.
Have all the fronts made their way through? And
yeah, we're starting to work into a gradual warming period to where over the next week, even when the strongest of the fronts come through, we won't be seeing snow, at least not as far to the south as Atlanta, Georgia, and freezing rain as far to the south as Waycross. And that, of course, is real good news, especially for those who are in the 13 of the 142 rooms in Andrew Jackson High, where evidently the heat is not working. We have some good news for you. Not only is the sun going to shine at least as brightly tomorrow as it did today, which of course we're looking at and was the first time we saw those rays since mid last week, but we're going to see those temperatures continue to rise, but not yet. In fact, they dropped at about the rate of 5 to 8 degrees per hour this evening. We'll take a look at the current temperatures right now, and this is how they look. Well, we didn't get an update on those temperatures, but I'll tell you what, subtract all of these by about 15 degrees, and that's where we're sitting. Temperatures still in the city just above the freeze mark. On to Tuesday we go, and now things are beginning to cooperate. High pressure is cooperating for us. That's why we're going to have nothing but a lot of bright sunshine through the day tomorrow. Possibly a few high cirrus clouds drifting by, and that is it. Farther out to the west, though, things happening, but more on the warmer side as southerly winds head up the Mississippi Valley. That's going to send some showers into Texas on up to about Oklahoma. But off to the northwest of there, the snow will be flying. In fact, there's going to be some problems at airports both at O'Hare and Minneapolis-St. Paul. That whole system on Wednesday shifts to the east. Showers shift our way, but most of those showers will not arrive until late on the day Wednesday, and thus with warm southerly winds Wednesday, probably even a little warmer than tomorrow. On to Thursday we go. One front drops to the south, but this is the type of front that last week was dropping south of Jacksonville. This is the polar front. This front will stay to the north of us. So although later this week we will see colder temperatures, not necessarily what I would call brutal. Well, in just a minute, we'll be back to take a look at just how low we're going to go and then how high we're going to get over the next couple of days.
Coming up on Nightline, the media and its power over the Democratic presidential race. Has the political press now decided to choose a favorite candidate on its own? And how much say does it have in moving that candidate forward? Bruce Babbitt talks about it tonight.
Tuesday on Good Morning Jacksonville, you may already have your lottery ticket. We'll take a look at what it took to get the game going.
Also, we'll update you on the new dimensional look of the final episode of Moonlighting, and sunshine and blue skies finally return to Florida's First Coast. Join us at 6 a.m.
Well, here we have some ideal weather conditions for running marathons. Too bad it's happening about 3 days late. By the way, though, for all of you who finished, congratulations. Quite a feat. For us tomorrow, you may have some cold feet if they're going to be bare if you head out and get your newspaper. The frost will be heavy, but the freeze is not going to be a hard freeze. Temperatures dropping just down to the freeze mark for most of us in town. In fact, not even getting to freezing out around the beaches, but because of the clear skies and a lot of the moisture at the surface, we will have some very heavy frost. May want to give yourself a little extra time to get that frost off the windshield when you drive in to work or school. And this is how low we're going to go in the morning hours, down to 29 degrees officially at the airport, although you folks farther out to the west will experience temperatures below freezing for as long as 12 hours. For instance, at Valdosta and Waycross right now, temperatures are below freezing, and you won't see them rise above freezing until about mid-afternoon. Let's take a look now at the marine forecast. We saw that area of high pressure building in and then heading on off to the east, and that means diminishing winds through the day. In fact, the northeasterly winds will give way to a southeasterly sea breeze during the afternoon. That'll be interesting. Seas 3 to 6 feet, but that's a nice smooth groundswell. Thus the surf will be good, and the temperature of the water is cold at 54 degrees. And the forecast as we take it into the morning hours, again, 29 to 36 degrees. We will experience the last quarter moon actually tomorrow. And here's your forecast for tomorrow. The sun will shine, just a few high clouds drifting by. And although real cool at the beaches relative to inland areas, from town west, temperatures up to 70. That's a 41-degree rise. Not quite as much of a rise for the rest of the week, but we'll take a look at it now as we throw the national and local weather all together. Again, tomorrow 70, Wednesday 74, chance of showers, but that shouldn't happen until late in the day. And then noticeably, we get cooler on Thursday and Friday, but we still get to see the sunshine. So
and no snow for the next few days.
Don't see any snow for at least 5 days.
I wish we could get some. I think it'd be great.
We'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Tim. Coming up in sports, Bears coach Mike Ditka appears to be upset, and the area's top prep football players are honored for being just that, tops. Harmon is next to sports.
WeatherTel. A 24-hour-day telephone weather service brought to you by the News on 12 and Avondale Travel, your American Express representative.
I guess everything is relative in football as far as records go. Folks in Atlanta would be proud of a Chicago Bears record, wouldn't they?
Folks in Atlanta would be proud of a 500 season, but they're not spoiled, see, like Chicago and towns like that. You have a little bad stint for a while, losing the playoffs, and so the rumors start flying they're going to fire Mike Ditka. Nobody's going to fire Ditka, really. Well, one day after losing for the second straight year to the Redskins, the rumors are flying in Chicago about changes for next year. Now, head coach Mike Ditka knows one thing that's not going to happen.
I don't think there's anybody better suited in America to coach the Chicago Bears than me. I say that with no ego involved, with just pure fact involved. That goes for all my fans and all my critics. And there's been many others who have stepped to the forum and tried and haven't done it. And we've done it.
Well, the Bears were knocked out by the Redskins 21-17. Veteran quarterback Doug Williams had the big game for the Skins, including that touchdown pass to tight end Clinton Dexter. Well, the Redskins' opponent, Minnesota, will work out at Tampa Stadium this week. The reason they want to get used to real grass. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns, they're headed to New Mexico to get ready for the Browns in the AFC. Top 20 college basketball, Arizona back on top, 14-1, followed by Carolina, who lost, Oklahoma, Temple, and Kentucky. 6 through 10, Pitt, Duke, Purdue, Syracuse, Michigan, Georgetown, Wyoming, Las Vegas, Iowa State, and Bobby Knight's Indiana Hoosiers, 8-3, followed by Kansas, Iowa, New Mexico, Auburn, Lee, and Illinois. Well, as I said, the defending national champion Indiana Hoosiers are having a tough time. As stated, they're ranked 15th, which can bring out the wrath of Coach Bobby Knight. Today, ESPN's Dick Vitale, also outspoken, exchanged a few words with the coach. Thought you'd like to eavesdrop.
I'm serious. Not what he ask him if I jump all over. He was kidding you. Ask him if you talk about being loud. I talked to you exactly like I was talking to him. The wrong way. I'm sorry. Hey, I don't have time to massage the ego of somebody 8 years old, Dick.
So he told him about the ego of the 8-year-old, but the two kissed and made up, and they'll be okay until the next time Indiana plays on ESPN. That was interesting. Back with the Duval County's 24 best high school football players after this timeout. Tonight, a very special one for the top 24. The TLV 12 Jacksonville Quarterback Club's Super Bowl banquet to officially announce the all-county prep football team for the season past.
Mike was one of them.
A packed ballroom to honor the county's top 24. And believe me, there were as talented athletes in attendance tonight as you could find anywhere in the country. Tonight, we also honored the best of the best. The Offensive Lineman of the Year, Christian Walter of Sandalwood High. His teammate, Chris Brooks, a defensive end, walked away with the Defensive Player of the Year. I had the honor of presenting the Offensive Back of the Year award. No surprise, Willie McClendon, also the Player of the Year. By the way, I told Willie it was 45 below wind chill today in Nebraska. The Defensive Back of the Year award goes to a player many feel is the city's best all-around athlete. Champ Brown, University Christian, Willie McClendon's cousin and best buddy, also known as the best end zone dancer. Joining me tonight at the head table, our own Lee Webb, who presented the Coach of the Year award to Sandalwood Saints coach Bob Withrow. Why is he smiling? Well, we had a little special award for the coach. The players have said he needs a little, well, loosening up. And tonight, two very special awards. All-American running back Rodney Cook from St. Augustine's School for the Deaf and Blind, a $1,000 scholarship. And in memory of Eric Faison, defensive back Sandalwood, this special recognition accepted by his dad, Lee. A great night for the players, a deserving night. We wish them all the best in the future years. Your top 24. Now, that was an enjoyable evening.
It really was.
I enjoyed that very much. I said Clint Dexter's Clint Didier Redskins. But anyway, I enjoyed that tonight. It brings back a lot of memories.
You were the Player of the Year when in 64?
Well, 63 season, and Mike Hauser gave me the award. And Nelson Vinyl, the coach, was there tonight who got me into football.
Mike Hauser, of course, passed away this past week.
Last week,
Yeah.
and so congratulations to the top 24. And thanks for coming. They really enjoyed it.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Harmon. Up next, Marcia Ladendorf continues her look at exercise and the mother-to-be. Stay with us. So you're having a baby and wondering if you should stop your normal exercise routine, whether to continue that 2-mile walk every morning or that aerobics class on Wednesday afternoon. Well, in her News on 12 Extra, Having a Baby, Marcia has some answers for you.
Aerobics are good as long as they're low impact, designed to protect your ligaments and bones.
There is a hormone relaxin that causes the ligaments during pregnancy to loosen. And if a woman were to jump or jar or make quick turns and movements, she could injure some of those joints that otherwise were strong when she wasn't pregnant.
And aerobics that stimulate your heart and lungs, increasing your pulse, are good too, as long as it isn't too much.
Essentially what happens is we can move blood away from the baby, and we don't want to do that because the baby gets its oxygen and its nutrition from that blood.
Sekind says check your pulse often, keeping it below 140 beats per minute or 23 beats every 10 seconds. Also be careful of drastic temperature changes. Drink plenty of liquids and listen to your body. Don't push it.
You can't do that when you're pregnant, because your body will fatigue a lot quicker when you're pregnant, and you have to listen to it so that you don't hurt yourself.
You should really be careful if you get tired, weak, dizzy, or get muscle cramps, especially contractions.
If you stop and you rest and they go away, that means that's safe. If they don't go away, then you need to consult your doctor quickly.
And don't think aerobics are the only way to get exercise.
I think getting out and walking is an excellent exercise, whether one's pregnant or not, but especially in the pregnant women, walking is a very good exercise.
Basically, any moderate exercise that doesn't hurt your breathing is good. Sekind says biking is fine and swimming is excellent. But there's a warning on all this. Sekind says some women absolutely must not exercise.
They are women who have a history of premature labor or take medication for premature labor, women who have a problem with bleeding, women diagnosed as having a low-lying placenta or placenta previa, women carrying more than one child, women with ruptured membranes or who have been told their baby is not growing properly.
Now, the key here, obviously, is to consult your physician and then proceed with moderation. By the way, everything's going fine with Marcia's pregnancy, although she has a cold right now, and that's the reason she's not here tonight. Tim Deegan is here tonight. He's back in the Weather Center with your wake-up forecast. Tim?
And it's cold again. Tomorrow morning as the sun rises, it will be below freezing for many areas. Let's take a look. Officially, 29 degrees near the runway. Farther out to the west, temperatures down to 30. 36 at the beaches, but for just about everyone west of the Intercoastal Waterway, very heavy frost, even some patchy frost out around the beaches. But tomorrow, as I said, we're going to get to see that sun shine, and we're going to see it shine through the day, and we're going to see some dramatic warming temperatures. The beaches will hang near 60 degrees, but farther out to the west will approach 70 by about 4 in the afternoon, and as high pressure slowly moves offshore, expect a northeasterly breeze to become southeasterly again during the afternoon.
Thank you, Tim. It's almost like summer's back again. As we leave you tonight, a new way to say goodnight here at TLV 12. Each evening from here on out, we'll be saluting you, our viewers. So if a News on 12 photographer asks you to wave to us, please do, just like the 6th graders at Finnegan Elementary School at Mayport. We salute you.